Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick video for my son Mhiingan, 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 which means wolf in Ojibwe. I kind of opened up that door in the previous video where I talked about his sacrifice through ex-ambassadors, because that song is about him having a rough time with his family falling apart. Because when I learned that I had a different soulmate I was destined to be with, I left his mother. And his family broke apart. So he hasn't really seen his mom and dad in the last 7, 8 years since this vision quest has started. The same with his brothers and sisters. He hasn't seen them on a consistent basis either. He's been living with my mother these past 7 years all by himself. So that's a great sacrifice that he made. Like, you guys are aware of your stories where there's supposed to be some great sacrifice that's supposed to uh, purify you of sin, that's not how it works, man. So I make this short video for him. So you just got done looking at ex-ambassadors there, right? So I'm gonna do this Mowgli one because the Mowgli is about Mhiingan. So part of the vision quest here is the part about Mowgli. There's a village there, right? And he becomes an outcast. But that's a recommend or not a recommendation, but that's metaphorical meaning for my community and the surrounding areas. Kind of turning against my own son for my spiritual warfare that I waged upon on your behalf to save you guys. So there was a couple letters I wrote to my community that didn't paint me in a positive light, and they kind of those letters they affected my son, and the people picked on my son. So they already outcast me from the community, and then from the letters, and then once they did that to me, they turned against my son. Just they painted us both with the same brush because of the sins of the father were cast upon the sins of the son, basically, and he became an outcast. So that's what Mowgli is subliminally about, Saugeen. Turning against Mhiingan and teasing him for whatever reason you feel that you needed to. And also his peers at the local school, making fun of him and doing et cetera, et cetera. So Mowgli is about my son. Now, it's also about Mhiingan. If we survive that the first attack, but let's say somebody comes here and blows up Dad over here in the house, or shoots me or something, well then it's your job to make sure that my dreams of what you're watching on here become a reality. So you're going to have to pick up the ball, make sure that the clone factory is completed. That you get a hold of that company on the video so that they could come to Six Nations and open up the clone factory, and then you got to look around for the Life Lab's blood so that you could give the blood to the Six Nations and that clone factory so that they can create two babies, one of me and one of their reincarnated mother. So when we watch the trailer, that's subliminally what Mowgli is about. So he says on there, when you were a cub, Mhiingan, I looked you in the eye and saw no fear, Mhiingan. I believed that one day you, Mhiingan, my son, would bring peace to the jungle, or mankind, because this is a jungle here. It's like hell, right? Hell on earth. So, but you have become a man now, Mhiingan. So you just substitute Mowgli for Mhiingan. So he is a man because he just turned 18. So he's no longer under the supervision of my mother, but that's where he stays because he has to go to school. He has aspirations to become a carpenter, and I believe he wants to go to college this fall. But I don't think that's going to happen, son, because I have other plans for you to be a stockbroker to buy all the corporations back on planet Earth. So you don't need to go to school for that. I have a friend who can do that, who can teach you how to do that. So, but you have become a man now, Mhiingan, because you're 18. So that's what it means, mankind. So then you can hear Mowgli talking. He's like, I'm not a man. That's coming from Mhiingan's perspective. I'm not a man because I'm 18, but neither am I a wolf. His name is Wolf, literally wolf. So when he says, I'm not a man, but neither am I a wolf, it's referring to being a lone wolf. So, if you're watching this now and I'm gone, it's my will and testament. He's like, I'm not a man, mankind, because I'm 18, but I'm no longer. I'm not a lone wolf either. Meaning I'm not alone in this venture. There's half the world, want to resurrect mom and dad. So it's talking about being a lone wolf. So that's what that means, being God. I'm not a man, but neither am I a lone wolf. I got half the world on my side and all of Turtle Island that want to resurrect mom and dad, and they'll help you, Mhiingan. They'll help you. So then at the end of Mowgli, it says, the girl's talking, and I think she's a snake. You'll see her in the video. She kind of snakes around like that. The snake is metaphorical for, that snake in a tree, right? So I think we can both agree, Mhiingan, that you, as my son, are something the jungle has never seen. They're expecting this shining white, Caucasian guy to come save them, and they don't realize that it's a 18-year-old Native American boy who's going to play that role of, the creator's son. My son doesn't walk on water. Let's just put it that way. Nor does he turn water into wine. But he is the real deal. So then we'll go to, I'm going to go to that next one there. So the next one is the Killers. I wonder who the Killers are. The Killers. The Killers. When you were young. So that one. So, the Killers, when you were young, that's about, what I just told you and showed you. So, it comes from the aspect of the females of the world, wondering what that second coming of the Messiah is going to look like and who he will look like. Well, now you know. And, my son doesn't look a thing like Jesus, but he talks like a gentleman. Can you please help resurrect the mother and father of all creation through cloning? Because some people dropped the ball and got rid of them. That's what he's talking about. He doesn't look a thing like Jesus, but he talks like a gentleman. Please help me, mankind. Can you bring my mom and dad back to life? So, when you were young, that's what that song is about. Now, from a secondary third subliminal meaning, reincarnated soulmate, that's about you. Do I talk like a gentleman, like you imagined when you were young? That's all I'm gonna say. So let's go with my sacrifice. So my sacrifice means if I have to sacrifice myself and then be brought back as a baby clone, well, that's my sacrifice. But it's referring to my son's sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice of him losing everything for the past 7 years. I barely talked to him. So did his mother, and his brothers and sisters barely talked to him. So that's a sacrifice that he had to make. And now, I have to put all that pieces back together for him by bringing his family back together. And that's my goal, so that he can have his family back. So there's an ultimate sacrifice that was made on my son's behalf, which you guys are unaware of. There's two types of sacrifices, one that you guys believe in and the one that I'm trying to teach you right now. There's an great deal of emotional sacrifice that my son had to make. So the last is, that's me giving my Austin 3:16 speech. Is for entity so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, Mhiingan, that whoever believeth in him, and that People's Corporation of Canada and all those corporations that he's gonna buy on your behalf, so that we can own everything together, and the resurrection of his of his father and mother through a cloning factory shall not perish but have everlasting life. Because that's what it really means.